Pokemon has been around for about 25 years now, and they've released tons of games. And today we're going to be ranking every single game that they have come out with. If you agree with me on these, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe down below. But let's go ahead and rank every single Pokemon game ever. So we don't want to waste too much time. We want to go ahead and get into this. So this one I've never played. It's some Japanese game. Art Academy. I would say this was really fun. I played it back in the day. Let's go ahead and put that at good. It wouldn't be great. I would say pretty good. It's a fun game. It pretty much its job. The entire intent of the game is perfect. Pokemon Battle Revolutions. I played this with my cousin. He had it. I was jealous that he had it. To be honest, it's average. I mean, at best. I can't give it better than average. It doesn't really have a true story, I guess. It's kind of like Pokemon Coliseum, but not as good. Never heard of that, so that's going bye-bye. Nah, never played that one either. Never played that one. Okay, I did use this one. I would say poor. I mean, it's not great. It's not even really a game. It's just Pokemon Channel. You can watch different things. It was kind of cool when it came out, but not that great. Now we're getting into some hot games right here. Pokemon Coliseum. Oh, man. It's either an amazing or best. I couldn't tell you. I'm going to say amazing because I love this game. I really enjoyed it on the GameCube. Back in the day, it was pretty awesome. Pokemon Conquest is a great game. If you haven't played that, it's a really niche game, but not a lot of people bought it, but it's pretty fun. I would definitely check it out if you haven't played it. Pokemon Crystal, obviously, has to go under, I would say great. It's above Pokemon Conquest. I wouldn't say it's as good as Pokemon Coliseum, but it's a pretty great game, and I would highly rate that game. No doubt going in the greats, for sure. Pokemon Dash, I would say it's not good. If you've ever played Pokemon Dash, if you haven't, you're lucky. If you have, you know it's not as good as it should be. It could be a fun game, but overall the mechanics are kind of busted. It's not that fun, so I would give it a really bad. Detective Pikachu, I would say it's average. It's not terrible. If you like somewhat of a whimsical game and it's kind of a niche game, you could definitely check it out and have some fun with it. The graphics are pretty bad, especially for now in our day and age, but it's still a pretty fun game. I would say Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, one of the best. I know people are going to hate that. Slow game. It takes forever to grind out and all this stuff, but this was the first game I ever played, so this is my personal opinion. Well, not the first one I played, but the first one I played through where I was like reading the books and trying to figure out everything that was going on. So Pokemon Diamond and Pearl have a very good place in my heart, and I give them the best. Now, obviously, there's going to be other games in the best. That's not the only best one, but I would say it's pretty good. Pokemon Duel, never played. I never played Pokemon Duel. Pokemon Emerald, bang. This is also going to go in the best. I don't even think I really need to explain this. Pokemon Emerald is like where the game started getting good. We got abilities, we got all these different things added to the game. We got the towers, all this stuff was added. It was amazing. Kyogre, Groudon, Rayquaza, a beautiful game. I would say it's one of the best personally, but that could just be my nostalgia talking, I don't know. But I think it's one of the best games, if not the best game in Pokemon history. Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. We are going to put this in amazing. I wouldn't say I like it as much as Coliseum. Coliseum was definitely ahead in my opinion, but pretty great game. I played probably at least 100 hours, maybe more, of Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green. Pretty fun. I would totally play it over and over again. It's a really fun game. Now, this may just be because I played these games, but I was really young when I played Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Now, I did play these games, but I was kind of young. Pokemon Gold and Silver, I would say they were good at best. I mean, they're obviously above Art Academy. Now, I didn't enjoy them too much when I played them as a kid, but I didn't really understand what was going on. I played them again. By the time I played them, the graphics were just out of date, and I didn't really enjoy it. So I would say it's pretty good, especially as kind of like a start off after Fire Red and Leaf Green. After Red and Blue came out and all those different games, this was definitely a good secondary game. Pokemon Go, I would say I play it to this day. I still enjoy it. I don't go hardcore at it. I wouldn't say it's one of the best. I would say it's average. I would put it above Detective Pikachu because you can play it anywhere, anytime. You don't have to be hardcore at it. You don't have to spend hundreds of hours at it. You can just have fun. throw your little Pokeballs, enjoy yourself. So I would say, yeah, pretty average. Hey, you Pikachu, awful. You had to use this microphone that never worked. It was pretty trash game. There wasn't a lot you could do. It would take you forever to do anything because Pikachu would be like, I cannot hear you, and you'd be like yelling into the microphone saying, I can hear you, Pikachu, now you better do what I say or I will end you. That's pretty much how this game was. It was a terrible game. A great idea, but terrible follow through. Not a good game. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, I would say, are amazing games. I love these games. These remakes were probably some of the best ones, maybe outside of Alpha Sapphire, but I would say this is probably one of the best remakes that have been made so far. Really great game. There's a great story. It's everything about it just improved upon all Pokemon games, and I had the little Pokeball like stepometer or whatever, so you could catch Pokemon while you're walking and like press the button. It was really fun. I really liked it. I would say this is a pretty amazing game. I'll put it right there in amazing between these two games right here. Now this is going to be a hot take. People are going to get upset about this one, but I say Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee are great games. I love them. They did what Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl should have done. I mean, it looked beautiful, and then they went to like this ugly, chibi, squished people kind of thing, and they really messed it up. And then they went to a different game, which I'll get into later, which they just destroyed the graphics. They didn't even care what it looked like. They were just like, pew, pew, pew. We put it all together. Here's a game. There you go. So I would say this was probably one of the best Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch. Pokemon Battle, I would say it's a poor game. I mean, it's not really that fun of a game. If you like it, it's okay. Pokemon Link Battles, I would say was a okay game. I mean, it didn't really blow my mind. I would say I'd play it again, but not for a long period of time. But if you like these type of games, I mean, I guess it was fun. It wasn't terrible. I'd probably put it at poor just because it wasn't my type of game. But if you enjoy like matching and all that kind of thing, it'd probably be a game for you. Now, Magikarp Jump, I would say is probably, I know it's going to be dumb, but an average game. If you're downloading the game, it literally is what you're getting. Magikarp jumping up and down. But you know what you're getting. It's really kind of just a quirky little fun thing you can do on your phone. And when it came out, I just had a little bit of fun with it. So I'd say it's average. Nothing groundbreaking, but a really fun game. To be honest, I don't even know what this is, so not played. One of my favorite games right here. Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I'm going to say this is one of the best games as well. I loved Mega. I mean, what more do we have to say? Megas, Megas, Megas. And I even hear Megas are coming back. Hopefully. I saw the release. Possible Megas. And more than likely they're going to be coming back. And I'm super excited. I would say this is one of the best remakes along with Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Probably the best remake of them all. Adding such a big mechanic to the game. I never played this game, so bye-bye, buddy. Picross, I would say bad. I mean, it wasn't that great. I don't really remember it at all. I know I played it, but it wasn't that good. Pinball, I would say was actually a pretty good game. They designed it really well. It was a fun little pinball game. If you like pinball, I mean, you're going to get what you paid for. A Pokemon pinball game, which out of all the pinball games, I would say is probably the best one. So I would definitely say it's a good game. And the same with the original Pokemon Pinball. This is the second one. This is the first one. I would say they're about the same. This adds on to it a little bit. That's why it's a little higher. But yeah, these would be about the same on the good level. Pokemon Platinum is here. And I think it needs to actually go where Diamond and Pearl is. And we're going to move Diamond and Pearl down to... Let's go with good above Pokemon Crystal. Because I did forget Pokemon Diamond and Pearl was a big downgrade from Pokemon Platinum. Pokemon Platinum was phenomenal for the DS. I loved it. It was a great update from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. And I know I had to like borrow my cousin's because I had Pokemon Diamond and then he got Platinum. And I was like, oh my gosh, dude, you are so lucky. And then I like borrowed it. I obviously gave it back, but he didn't know I'd taken it. But yeah, I borrowed it. Now, I don't know what this game is. I don't read Japanese. But next up, we have Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Sky. I would say this is actually a pretty amazing game. I love all of the Mystery Dungeon games. I played the original one on Game Boy SP. I played all of them so far, except for the one on Switch. I didn't play that one because it was just a remaster, but it did look pretty cool. So I would say this is the low rank of amazing. It's pretty awesome. And if you haven't played any of the mystery dungeon games, I would definitely recommend it. But after Explorers of Sky, we have the other mystery dungeon games. Now, this one, I would say, is pretty close to Explorers of Sky. This one, I would say, is a pretty good game. I wouldn't say it's as good as these two games, but it is a pretty good game. And then we have the originals, which I would put at probably just below this one right here, because they were a little slow. The story wasn't as good or as funny as the newer ones, but I would still say they're pretty solid games if you're looking for a Pokemon exploring game with a different mechanic than the normal Pokemon games. These are definitely great games that you could try out. Pokepark 2, poor. You just store Pokemon, play with Pokemon. It's not that great. Same with Pokepark. They're just ways for Pokemon to be stored, and it's not even a good way to store them because you have to store them on the Wii. So it was kind of annoying. And if you didn't have a Wii, then you really couldn't store them on there or get them off if your Wii broke or anything like that. So yeah, I would say those are pretty poor. Now, Pokken Tournament, I thought was a great game. I don't know why it didn't take off, because I really like the fighting style of the Pokken Tournament. Now, I don't like fighting games normally. I don't really play them at all. But the fact that I could fight as a Mewtwo or a Greninja or all these different Pokemon made it pretty awesome. And I would have actually gotten into this game if it became something bigger. But it kind of died out, but it is a great game, and I would definitely recommend it if you haven't played it. I don't know if the servers are still up. I know they're possibly closing them soon, but it is a really fun game, and I would recommend it if you haven't tried it out. Now, Pokemon puzzle games, I don't really care for. I wouldn't say they're bad. I would say they're average, just because if you like puzzle games, that's going to be fun for you. It's not my cup of tea. I don't really enjoy those games because I'm kind of dumb, and those are for smart people. But yeah, I would put those on average just because I don't really care for them. Pokemon Quest, bad. Boring game. Not really even game for babies. I know Pokemon's for kids, but this is for babies. Literally for babies. All the Ranger games are amazing. I would put all of the stinking Ranger games up here. Probably all the Ranger games can actually go in front of Pokemon Explorer. You know what? Actually, I changed my mind. I'm actually going to put them in front of Fire Red and Leaf Green. These were some of the best games I ever played. I remember getting my Manaphy and transferring it from my Pokemon Ranger game into my Pokemon Diamond game. And I was like so excited because you could transfer Pokemon and I could get this legendary Pokemon that not a lot of people can get. Now you can just hack Pokemon into the game and it's not as fun. But back then, if you were to get like a legendary in this game and transfer it to another game, and you'd show your friends and you'd be like, I got this Pokemon. Nobody else had it because they didn't have both games. I did. I had the Manaphy. I had the egg. It was a pretty awesome experience. I would say all these games, all Pokemon Ranger games are amazing games. Pokemon Red and Blue, I would say, are some of the best. Obviously, they started off the series. I wouldn't play them today because I don't like the graphics. It's terrible. I don't like the 20-year-old graphics or whatever. They are definitely a monumental game because they created the entire Pokemon franchise, and I did enjoy them when I played them, especially the newer ones that came out on Game Boy Advance. I really loved those, but I would say these are some of the best because if it wasn't for these two games, we would not have Pokemon as it was today, and we wouldn't have all these games because we wouldn't have these two. So I would say they're some of the best games. Now, this is the Japanese version. Same, pretty great game. Never played the Japanese version, but same thing. Sapphire and Ruby, I would say they're amazing games. I wouldn't put them up there because we obviously have Emerald up here, which is the same thing but better. It's like the same thing with Platinum. So I would put them down here behind Explorers of Sky just because this is better. If you're going to play any of these games, play Emerald. Put this on for later because, I mean, it's not really that. If you want Groudon or Kyogre, I mean, I guess you could play either of these, but it's like Pokemon Emerald, but not as good. Pokemon Rumble Blast, I played for a little bit. It was average. Little toys that fight each other. Pokemon Rumble Rush, I never played. Didn't play that. Didn't play that. Pokemon Rumble. Now this, I say, was a good game because it was free. You could play it on your Wii. We didn't have a lot of money growing up before I was adopted, and this was the game we would get on the Wii and play it all the time. I didn't really understand it because there were like limitations, and I think you might have had to buy stuff but we never were able to. But we still had a great time with it. And since it was free, it was really fun. Pokemon Shuffle? Nah, I would say bad. Just because I don't like it. And I never had fun with it. Pokemon Snap, great game. If not amazing. I would say amazing. Behind Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby. When I was a kid, I didn't really care. Obviously, because you just were snapping photos. I was like, where's the battling? When do we make these monsters fight each other? Where's the blood and the tears and all this? So I played it and I was like, what is this? I wanted a Pokemon game and I got a camera game. I want to play this. But later on, I played it again when I was a little older, and it was pretty cool. You get points for different photos, and you just it was just a good time, a relaxing game. You didn't have to stress too much, and you could just take photos of your favorite Pokemon. Pokemon Stadium, I would say this is an amazing game. I remember playing this on the Nintendo 64, and I had a great time. I wouldn't say it's above the Pokemon Ranger games, but I put it right here in between Pokemon Ranger and Fire Red. It was a really great game. The first time you could see like all your Pokemon as 3D sprites. Really fun. You get to battle your Pokemon, import your Pokemon. And then the second one I would say is probably one of the best games, because it was just Pokemon Stadium with more Pokemon, better bosses, more gyms, all the different stuff. And you could import from 2 different games instead of 1 game. So I would say it's better than the first one, but they're both pretty great games. Pokemon Sun and Moon. I would say they were good games. Didn't care for them. The whole mechanic. Actually, I might actually move them down to average. Just because the whole mechanic of the like tribute Pokemon or whatever they were was kind of dumb. I didn't like it. The legendaries were kind of cool, but outside of that, I thought it was kind of boring. Now this Mystery Dungeon game, I didn't play yet. I forgot it even existed, to be honest. Sword and Shield, I would say, was pretty good. I enjoyed the open world. I mean, obviously there was the fiasco with the trees and everything, but I thought the game was good. I thought the DLC was good. I enjoyed the overall game. Urshifu and the 2 dogs, they were great. All the legendaries that they added, the Reggies and everything like that, were pretty good. So I really enjoyed this game. I mean, the story wasn't going to make me write home to my mama, but it was a pretty good game. Trading card game, I would say was a good game as well. Obviously, I think I need to move Sword and Shield up a bit. Probably to like, actually, probably to great. Because I would say it's better than all these games. I would probably actually put Pokemon, the trading card game, at average. Just because it was a struggle. I mean, it was a fun game, but you really had to dedicate time to it. Because it took a while for everything to take place. And so I would say it's average. If you want a card game, you got a card game. You got what you paid for. I don't know what this game is. Never played Trading Card Online. I did play this. I would say it's also probably about the same. I mean, they're the same thing. This one is a lot better graphics. I think they did shut this down, or if they're revamping it or something right now. I would say it's better than the original game, obviously. Never played this one. I think this is another Pokemon cards game that was supposed to release, but never did in America. Bad game. Didn't like it. Never played this game. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I would say they were better than the originals, just because they had Necrozma mixing with the legendary Pokemon, which is pretty. Anything where you add Necrozma to it just makes it 100 times better. I'd probably actually move that up to good, because it just adds so much more to the story and everything. Black and White, I would say, was a pretty good game. I would put it above probably all these. I would put it at great, probably, actually. It's probably at great. I might put it above Sword and Shield, to be honest. Yeah, there. It's above Sword and Shield. I would say Black and White was pretty good. Black and White 2 was even better. I would put that at great as well. I wouldn't say I like it more than Diamond and Pearl, just because I'm biased and I like those games a lot. But I would say it was really, really good game. It improved upon a lot of things in the original Black and White. And yeah, I would say it's a lot better. And I'm sad we didn't get a third one that was supposed to release. Well, supposed to release, but everybody was saying it was going to release. I'm happy with where we are, because the next game is X and Y, which is what the new game is going to potentially be based off of. Now, X and Y was not one of my favorites. I would say it was probably the best of the goods right here. Now, it was a good game. I love the legendaries, but I don't know what it was. I was just in that phase where it was like, I played Diamond and Pearl and Platinum, and then after that, I didn't really care too much about Pokemon for a while. So X and Y, Black and White 2, played them, but it was just like, I didn't really care for them. And then whenever the Nintendo Switch games started coming out, I was like, oh, I'm all in again. Back to Pokemon, gotta go. So I have to give it another try. I did play it, but I didn't really care about it. So I'll put it at good for now, just to not be biased on it. Now this is my favorite game. I'm sorry. I forgot this game existed. First time I played it, I fell in love with it. XD Gale of Darkness. Played so much. I replayed it recently. I love this game. I mean, a Dark Lugia. Steal people's Pokemon. It's like Power World before Power World was cool. It was a really great game, and you didn't have to start off at level 1. All these great things about Pokemon that they changed up, and they made it a little bit more dark and gritty. And so I really enjoyed it. I would say it's probably one of the best games. If they remade this game, I would be so excited. I would buy it. I'd pre-order like 100 days ahead of time just to get it before everybody else. Now finally, Pokemon Yellow. I would say I didn't play it too much. I did play it a little bit. Like I said with Red and Blue, I was really young when it came out. I played it a little bit. I was confused about the Pikachu thing because I was like, where are the 3 starters? Yeah, it was a fun game. It really did a good job, but I was really young when it came out, so I can't give it a better rating than good. So this is the final tier list, guys. If you disagree with this, let me know in the comments down below. We are all open to our own opinions, but I think this is a pretty good standing of what Pokemon is. If you guys got a different opinion, let me know what your favorite game was and least favorite game in the comments down below, and I hope you have a great day. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for me as well.